thought I'd see the end, but we went down. We could not believe everything would fall. All our dreams are gone, and now we've drowned. Everything is lost, never to be found.
He has no issue to play against former teammates and friends. He will teach them what he's teaching them on the TeamSpeak after the games. He's telling them how it's done, and he will show them to them now.
Oh, they talk on the server, right? They save the talking on the server. They don't need to do all this noise mumbo jumbo. But I'm gonna ask one more time, you guys. Are you guys really gonna let Gentlemate fans out scream you? Come on, Casey. Go on, Tom, be that.
You know what? I'm on this side right now, but, you know, I like how Casey plays. For God, just get this man out of it. It's not the first time he's betrayed someone. Gentlemen, fans, give that man a boo! Give him a boo!
Let's go, Josh. Where are you at? Come join us.
The absolute traitor in the server.
We have two teams ready on the side. Let's send it down to Lou to bring out Casey and Gentlemates.
Welcome to the VCT EMEA French Derby. In today's match, the stakes are high, with two communities engaging in a clash of titans. If your heart beats blue, you'll find in KORP the freshness of young blood. But if it beats pink, then you might want to look up to Gentlemates, the heroes of EMEA's ascension. This challenge is for the fearless. It's not about participation, it's only about victory. Cette rivalité passionne la France depuis des semaines et ça y est, nous y sommes. KARMINE Corp face à Gentlemates, c'est maintenant. Mesdames et messieurs, l'heure est venue de choisir votre camp. Chaque semaine, l'épisode est attendu et ça y est, nous y sommes. Le shonen K-Corp n'aura pas fini de vous surprendre. Qui de mieux que le personnage principal, au shérif, au marshal, narrate. Chaque histoire a son méchant et du FC dueliste, il est le président, le seul et l'unique, Martin. Que des numéros 10 dans cette formation et l'IGL ne fait pas exception. L'incomparable Magnum. Derrière ce sourire malicieux se cache la malveillance max. Pour passer sur son site, tu dois payer la taxe. Thomas Chu. La France et l'Algérie n'ont Dieu que pour lui et au sein de sa jeune équipe, il maintient bien l'harmonie. C'est Chine. À la sueur de leur front, ils ont dominé l'ascension. Fraîchement adoubés chevaliers, Gentlemates viennent assiéger le VCT. Roi de France, 2 fois sacré, c'est désormais à l'Europe d'y passer. Il affronte son ancien club pour triompher. King Takas! Un gentleman qui sauve tous les routes comme les princesses en détresse. C'est bien lui, Lord Logan! Fin tacticien de Turquie, meneur d'hommes aguerris. Sur le serveur, jamais il ne tarit. Le capitaine Beyaz! Une race qui persiste à surprendre, un phénix qui chaque fois renaît de ses cendres. C'est le petit prince Nathan! Le teammate parfait, des mates, il est le cadre incarné. Des clutches, il est le plus grand chevalier. Wailers! Ils font l'unanimité, ils forcent le respect. Accueillez avec moi 2 coachs 5 étoiles qui vont aujourd'hui nous faire l'honneur de s'affronter.
Matchup in front of us here, Mike. I mean, these two teams, it's got the crowd on their feet. They're riled up.
Yeah.
But we need to start talking about where this is going to go down, right? These two teams should know each other very well, but yet have never officially met on the server like this, in these sort of environments.
No, they haven't. And to be honest with the veto coming up here, it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, obviously bans aside, actually where we end up playing here, we're going to see Ascent and Bind taken out here.
Okay.
Kicking things off on splits where KC have shown a lot of talent, but actually we haven't seen Gentlemates play actually either here for Icebox as well.
That's
Lauren.
huge. Mike, now talk to me. Split and Icebox, never seen from Gentlemates. That's ridiculous, right? Like, if we're talking about this, we're walking into the unknown. And is that a benefit for existence? Is that a benefit for Eng? Where do you sit on this sort of stage?
I mean, if you kind of look at KC from I guess a stylistic standpoint, it's all about structure, right? So these being real curveballs in terms of there being no tape.
There's no tape.
Yeah, there's nothing really for KC to really prep from, so that could give Gentlemates the upper hand, I guess, initially on the start of these maps. Whether or not they can run away with them, we'll have to wait and see.
But isn't this the perfect example of what we can hope to see, right? You've got Eng, this mastermind, always touted as such a great mentality towards the game. Hopefully his boys are ready to go on this, because, again, for KC, we haven't seen this in a hot minute either. They don't have recent reps on these maps, but
No.
at least they have some.
No, they don't. Obviously, we saw Split versus Sentinels over in Madrid, and also obviously Icebox versus FPX. So
Yes.
there is definitely something to take away from that. Obviously, the other appearances being back at kickoff as well. Whether or not things have changed massively from them, I think KC have probably established themselves in terms of the way they want to play Valorant. In terms of the compositions, we're not necessarily going to see massive changes in that regard. But do we see Gentlemates follow through with the same sort of ethos?
But this is the canvas, right? We've got now Gentlemates with a real prospect of painting this how they want to. And they're fired up. Both of these sides want to prove a point. Again, love a derby match when you get to see these kind of regional sides clash. They normally end up a bit topsy-turvy. They always seem so aware of each other, so hyper-aware. But now, if you're going to tip this one side or the other, are you going to wait till you see the comps? Because, hey, if Gentlemates are in the server, you don't know quite what's coming out yet.
I mean, it's difficult, really. Obviously, with that performance versus Foot from KC, there's probably some questions about how they came away from Madrid. I guess feeling about themselves, feeling about their own performance. But just based on the appearances we've seen, you've got to give the edge to KC here.
Yeah,
Unless
I think
Gentlemates come out and they can run away with the same sort of dare I say, Phoenix sort of compositions in the tank absolutely feasting once again. Those are the sort of things that will catch them off guard. Once those kind of tendencies are question marks and Gentlemates can really kind of toy with that idea, then KC might struggle.
Hey, you spoke it into existence. The tank locking in the Phoenix here. First time we're going to get to see them run this on split, and you're absolutely right. Takas as well, sitting towards the jet. So we've got quite a nice old composition, very Gentlemates-esque, right? I think if you're facing this team, you're somewhat expecting it. How do you look towards KARMINE Core here, though? What is standing out to you? Anything that's really tickling your fancy? Do you think this is more standard from them coming in with a good adjustment?
I mean, yes, it feels more standard, like I said, in terms of the way that we know KC like to play. Obviously, Martin and Narrate have been absolutely the headliners for this roster. Alongside that as well, obviously the switch-ups between Magnum, Tomazi and Shin here, I think it still buys into that same sort of game plan.
Proof will be on the server. Next couple of minutes now until we get ourselves ready to go. But again, I think by all standards leading into this, yes, KC should have, I'd say, the upper hand. But if there was a situation, if there was a circumstance you could create, Gentlemates have done that. They've walked KARMINE Core into the unknown. They've got tape on KARMINE Core. There's none to be had on Gentlemates. So it's learning on the fly. This puts a lot of pressure on the likes of Magnum. In-game leadership in the server, live in front of you. That's a lot for him to handle.
And it tests that recovery factor, which I guess we haven't necessarily seen kind of on a macro level from KC previously.
Bigger picture maybe, but yeah.
Which again, with KC definitely establishing themselves regionally this year, you need to go through series like this to really run the tests and actually have those outcomes, right? Have that to go away and prep further on.
Well, lights out and away we go. Diving into this KARMINE Core will be on that defending side, and that means that Gentlemates get to set the tone, set the tempo. And I want to see how they look here. This is completely new to our eyes. How well is this crafted?
A slow start here. Martin wants to kind of shoulder. We'll try and deal with the dog, but actually force back a little deeper here. Got to avoid the stun coming through. It actually does TP out. Back up to down to 40 actually.
Towards heaven. Look to the amount of rotations they're putting so much stock and faith behind this. They have pulled everyone over here, but look to where the spike is. Other side of the map. It's all a ruse. And they've succeeded, and then some. They'll get a plan. Yeah. But I'm looking for maybe a late lurk in middle, because of course now the penny's dropping for KARMINE Core. They're going, guys, there's no one else here. It was just a tank running at us. I like this deeper positioning coming out from Takas as well, trying to get a foothold towards CT. Pain Shell going to come in. That should catch a bit of damage, but it's actually Takas to fall. That's an issue. Losing ground towards CT could cause problems here.
That's tough there as well with the paranoia available. Definitely could have made a play off that. Whaler's revealed also. So has to respect this pressure coming through.
Going to be, oh, lovely paranoia. Didn't quite catch the earlier players dropping down, leaving Logan with it all to do. And it's 5 standing from KARMINE Core. Collected, worked as a unit, diligent on retaking that space towards CT, playing from heaven as a collective. It all lined up there, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the approach here from Gentlemates. Like I said, able to sell that fake really effectively. Unfortunately, can't really convert that into, you know, space taken away ahead of the rotation of KC. Whether or not another, 3 or 4 seconds would make the difference here. Said an opportunity. Takas and Whalers to get something done on the back of the paranoia here. I mean, even the dash pop preemptively sort of signifies the, Takas's intent in that situation. Whether or not, I mean, initially they're expecting somebody still to be there ahead of, obviously, no spike audio cue given away on A site.
It's looking like we're going to be in for a game of the Fakey boys here. Vast majority of Gentlemates posturing towards B, but I kind of like this approach of taking space, some commitment from KARMINE Core. Apply that pressure, force Gentlemates to use that very limited amount of utility they'll be coming in here with, just to clear through B main potentially, but again, the spike is trying to ferry its way through towards A. Nothing seen so far for Martin, however, you can see where that spike is. Bayaz up towards heaven now. And if they can get a plant, maybe cost them a body or two, you'd be happy enough.
Well, Gentlemate's probably just testing the waters here. Well, testing the waters to try and get that orb in the tank, and Shin quick on the punish. She gets a ton of damage onto Takas. Well, was tagged up earlier in the round, but down to 2 HP now.
They're just not being given chances. Look how deep KARMINE are sitting towards the safe side as well. Maybe noting, obviously, the flash that came through. So they are aware that someone was on this side of the map, but I like this, playing very, very passive, not allowing them to close that gap. Yeah,
this is sort of a pro ground for Gentlemates, and KC don't really want to give too much of the game away here. Don't want to show any of these deeper setups, so to force their hand in that regard. They can work for it a little bit. Get away with the plant here, though.
That's not bad.
10
Cass
seconds
is going to fall in the meantime. He was tagged up very early. Can they cost KARMINE a body? Keep in mind, the first round was flawless. Well, they get 2 back-to-back.
Still 2 sheriffs here.
Yeah, Whalers does have 1, Logan the other, and we know what Logan can do.
Yeah.
That's a throwback if you remember it, but man's got talent, and it's Tomasi to find Whalers. Logan is going to find some damage and need a lot more. He's going to take down 2. I mean, plant 2 kills. You're not too upset, but for KARMINE, business as usual.
Not necessarily sweating too much just yet. Numbers advantage on the way back in, so they're tough to really make anything happen with these 2 sheriffs.
Enemy down.
Spot that one from Thomas, he just straight through the smoke. Yeah, this is the one here where maybe an inkling how Gentlemates want to approach in terms of the bigger picture here on the attack. Early on, obviously trying to pump a fake in the pistol, which was effective, but I guess lost out in terms of capitalizing elsewhere after the plant comes through.
Toxins going up.
Okay. Similar fall towards A. Logan. So they're going to try and keep that maintained. And the early pressure towards middle as well. So Dog going to be committed up towards heaven, sees nothing. Tomasi will be waiting on the other side towards vent. So again, just cycling through the smokes. It's the early pump now. I wonder if KC clear off the back of this or if they pause. I'm looking to see if they retake this space. They are gathering up towards heaven. Maybe a pop flash through the smoke here could force Tomasi off the angle. Yeah, fully blinded. Shin and Narrate though in unison. And Gentlemates just walking into a trap. KARMINE will re-clear that space. They will double check for that.
Both duelists fall as well. So really takes the punch out of any further attempt that Gentlemates will have here. Logan, I guess initially himself in alert, but he will be the front man for the remaining 3 of Gentlemates.
Poison's off.
Again, Martin not giving anything away here. Happy to commit towards a retake.
Playing so disciplined.
And I guess actually, if it's going to be kind of this double front line from Gentlemates, KARMINE are going to look towards mid. They're going to look to remove that pressure point so that the site retake is a little easier. Or actually, any site execution after that is a little easier without your duelists.
Again, you can already see the early utility being used by Magnum as well. Very aware they'd want to take that space towards CT, so going to force them away, push them a little bit deeper towards the side. Whalers needs to over-deliver here. He can only get 1 in a trade for Tomasi. Now KARMINE removing all of that safety, all of that space. Logan overwhelmed. It's all on Bay as he can only do so much. KARMINE so regimented, Mike. The last couple of rounds, they've looked disciplined, they've looked diligent, and they've looked well rehearsed how to deal with a team like Gentlemates. Yeah, and like I said, with these 2 duelists, that's what ultimately what Gentlemates want to achieve, is to really, kind of get themselves into a pressure point and remove that structure, remove the comfort that KC have from playing like this. Unfortunately, Gentlemates lose out here in the buy round. Early on in mid, like I said, it takes away that bite towards any sort of execution. Gentlemates still going to have some funds to invest here. Logan's going to be the one to struggle. At least, call it rifles across the board. And coming into round 4, still no ultimate for the tank. He's been well handled, well controlled so far, and even here, Magnum denying this orb. And again, it feels like KARMINE have come into this with a priority list. And again, there's no tape on Gentlemates here, but their playstyle is still their playstyle, right? You still know what you're kind of coming up against when you're against Gentlemates. That high priority on getting the ult on the tank, the high priority on how they play, the splits, the fakes they love to try and pull. So again, they look prepared. Magnum's got to be careful. Could have been overwhelmed there. You can see on the X-ray how close to danger he was, but again, the tether really hindering that. Perfect application.
Eyes on the rate here, because only 1 off the showstopper. Mazzy tested on ramp, and Logan actually comes out on top.
Yep, that's not bad. That's an upgrade to be had. And now they're losing some of that space, some of that safety. Taking over Heaven. Taka's going to find Magnum, taken away from the side, but the cross isn't secured. Narrate's still standing, and he's seen so many bodies. Shin tries to swing back in. He's down to Martine and Narrate. He's bumped the rocket. He's trying to. Does he find anyone in time? He absolutely does. Bayaz goes down. 2v2 now, both locked out, and look where the spike is. This is now a standoff. Who blinks first? The angle's so good for Martine, but Narrate bails him out, trying to come back through. Narrate digging his heels into that round. That looked close from Gentlemates.
Definitely, but both sides of the coin here, you can see initially, KC up to the challenge. Losing 2 members, happy to go toe-to-toe and kind of equalize that advantage. And then it just comes down to solid fundamentals at the end here. The trading, perfect between Martine and Narrate.
And how many times did we kind of lean into that narrative when we're talking about KARMINE Corp previous to now, right? It's the fundamentals that we really enjoy from them. They're pumped up, man. And again, the fundamentals just mean the spacing, the trading. There is so much about how this team approached this game that gave people that look back on your gambits, the Eng approach, right, that everyone likes seeing again.
Ethos, yeah.
And it works, right? And you're seeing glimpses of it here. I think a lot of us got a little worried after Madrid, and then could they bounce back after, having the first real test of faith in the system, right? They faced incredible opponents, didn't quite pass the mustard there. And then, okay, could they pick back up? And it looks like they've fallen back into good habits here, but first time out called for Gentlemates, and it's early. Existence needs to have a chat with the boys because they are not having the impact they would have wanted.
No, they're not, especially with a comp like this. It's well, to have a Sky backing up, obviously a Phoenix and a Jet, you do want to see that kind of frontline success very early on from the get-go, to be honest with you. Only really had 1 out of these 4 rounds where it's Takas to open things up. I mean, actually, well, it was Logan actually to open up the previous, but Takas to follow up on that.
Caution here.
But yeah, I haven't necessarily seen them really fully invest towards sending Takas and the tank forwards.
There.
Slow burn through mid that wasn't successful.
Yeah, need to see the tank get activated. Yet to even get on the board kill-wise, so for him, not the start he'd be hoping for. And it looks like KARMINE Corp kind of reading this as, once again, maybe one of those mid-pieces that we know that Gentlemates have been running. And actually, it's Martine. Confirms attendance, that's Logan now removed. And they've already responded. You've already seen the players being pulled over. Tomasi starting to lean a little bit closer in towards those vents.
Gun here.
Gentlemates don't want to force the issue just yet. Still some time to play with, but eyes towards mid here as the tank trying to find something through, and well.
Where was that crosshair? Because it wasn't on him.
It wasn't on Shin, that's for sure.
Hey, if you're in a tank, you take him when you get him. You've not been having the best of starts. Maybe that's a nice little confidence booster. But now they've had a pick kind of in middle. It's left a hole in KC, right? Now how do they fill this? How do they plug that? We've already seen the response from Magnum to come back over towards Heaven.
I was going to say, yeah, with this smoke going up, it almost starts to sell a fake, but
30 seconds left.
Magnum...
Got to put a body behind it, though. Got to do
Yeah, I was going to say, the problem being, Bayaz has now slipped in, got this weapon, which won't be confirmed.
They still don't have the site. Look how many bodies are here. There's still 2 bodies on this site. They have nothing to break them away from it, and they've got 14 seconds. I think they've run it a little late. The concept was correct, but KARMINE Corp unfazed by this. Spike now left towards Heaven. It's too late in the day. Narrate and Magnum mopping them up. Needs to be quicker on that, Mike.
Yeah, chance for Bayaz to slip into the back lines here with Narrate still kind of holding down the fort on B, but I guess a little bit of hesitance on his part. We make that rifle work, and it's 5 unanswered now. I mean, other than this kill, really difficult for Gentlemates to really find a pressure point.
10 seconds left.
Or even focus together on a pressure point. Narrate snappy on the adjustment there. About to satchel. It looked like he was about to satchel.
Oh, he's learning where the camera is.
But Ultimate's now finally coming online for Gentlemates in round 6.
Yeah, but look at the stack. Look how many people are waiting on this side. They've read it. They've read this so well. They've read them like a goddamn book. Magnum sends them away. Even with all of this, KARMINE Corp have Gentlemates' number. The entries are not working out. They've lost out on Takas and the tank again in a blink of an eye.
You have to keep an eye on these rounds where they're falling even ahead of where Gentlemates are getting set up. Even get themselves in a position to choreograph some of these site hits. Now back into a position where a minute left on the clock, having to walk back around the map. try and isolate a player on the side of KC. Yeah, not going to get much here with Tamazi shouldering. Snakebite will go in, expecting the peak to come through. Yeah, she does spot the first, but yeah, it's quick for the trade.
But even with this pick, there's still 2 players posted on either side of the map, and it's going to be very hard to disrupt them. As you highlighted, Bayaz does still have some utility to play with, so maybe could be a little bit more disruptive, but we're down to 30 seconds. And yeah, Tomasi caught enough of a shoulder there just as he came back through on the peak. Flashed in, swings. Still playing patiently. Forced off the angle, and he's just playing in his teammate. He's playing in Martine. This is that work in unison. Lovely synergy between the players on KARMINE.